Welcome to part 2 of Do Not Carry a Cross. In part 1, we confirmed that it could only have been a tree and not a cross or stake. And the position of the arms would further confirm that it was not a cross. There were various storaces, execution stakes, that were used based on what was available and the method of punishment and or death. The public display of the punishment, execution, and display of a dead person's body was to intimidate the occupied people. Generally, the punishment would be torture, which could last for days before death. A quick death would be after a few hours of torture. The positioning of the arms would indicate whether the person would have a quick or prolonged death. In John 19, verse 7, the Pharisees requested Pontius Pilate for YAHUSHA to be executed according to the Torah. In Matthew 27, verse 24, Pontius Pilate washes his hands off and hands over the execution of YAHUSHA to the Pharisees. The people in Matthew 27, verse 25, accept that the blood of YAHUSHA would be on their hands. This is all according to the Torah in Deuteronomy 21, verse 1 to 9. Therefore, the Pharisees had full authority over the death of YAHUSHA. Some people argue that this could not have happened because the Torah does not allow for the hanging of a live person on a tree. Nancy Kuehl explained in a book of evidence, the trials and execution of YAHUSHA, that generally people were killed before being hung from a tree, but live people were also hung on a tree to die. The Pharisees would not have hung YAHUSHA from a cross because that would have been against the Torah. According to Ernest L. Martin, there is no doubt that the followers of YAHUSHA up to the middle of the 2nd century knew that he was executed on a literal tree. Melita of Judaeus, who died in the year 180, consistently said that the execution stake of YAHUSHA was a living tree. He said, just as from a tree came sin, so also from a tree came salvation. The patibulum, or crossbeam, of YAHUSHA was, without a doubt, nailed to a living tree. As written in The Secrets of Golgotha, the forgotten history of the Messiah's execution, quotation, it is also a matter of historical record, adds Peter Michas, that before the year 326, the cross did not exist as a symbol in the scriptures, but was derived from paganism. For a fascinating discussion of the origin and history of the cross, read Babylonian Mystery Religion by Ralph Woodrow. Someone is surely lying to you about the idolatry of the cross. Now that the Pharisees had the authority to execute YAHUSHA, his death had to be a hurry-up affair. He was strung on the tree at what we would consider to be 9 a.m. According to the Yahudism custom of the time, all work had to be completed by noon of Nisan 14, so that the priest would be free to assist in the offering of the Passover lambs the red heifer, and the leading out of the Azazel goat. Because of this hurry-up affair, and that the bodies of the three men had to be taken down before sunset, in John 19, verses 31 and 32, the request to break the men's legs were carried out. The breaking of the legs resulted in death by suffocation within minutes. Therefore, it's crucial to understand where the men's arms had to be for a quick death. Professors Frederick T. Zugivi from America performed extensive experiments to test this theory. He took volunteers and suspended them by belts and straps on a cross. He conducted two variations of execution, one with a suppendium, which is a wooden block upon which feet would be supported, helping a victim stay supported on a cross or storus, and one without a suppendium. These experiments show that a man on a cross would not suffocate to death with or without a suppendium. Dr. Hermann Muller from Austria carried out an experiment in the 1940s in Cologne, Germany, with medical students. He strapped them with their wrists directly above their heads, and within minutes, while hanging with no support for the feet and legs, the students grew pale. Their lung capacity and blood pressure dropped significantly, and their pulse rates increased. Muller concluded suffocation would occur in minutes if they were not able to stand and rest. No support devices were used to allow the students to relieve the pressure on their lungs to enable them to breathe. Therefore, YAHUSHA and the men's arms had to be vertically above their heads and not horizontal to their bodies for a quick death. Medical science proves that it was impossible that the men were hanging on a cross. In fact, YAHUSHA himself confirms that it is a living tree in Luke 23, verse 31. For if they do these things in a live green tree, what may take place in the dry? Your pastor is getting you to worship a cross, yet YAHUSHA himself confirms that he died on a living tree. One of the questions that you must probably be asking now is, how could they place a big sign above YAHUSHA's head that says, YAHUSHA, the Nazarene, the King of Yehuda, and was written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek? Well, it was not a big sign. It was abbreviated and upset the priest who tried to get Pilate to change the abbreviation, because the abbreviation spelled out the name of Yahuwah. In John 19, verse 19 to 21, Pilate left it as he wrote it. Israel is a nation that is known for their detail and facts, which are passed on over the centuries, and they can be trusted. Can the Greeks and the Romans be trusted with the scriptures of Elohim Yahuwah? Nations that have never worshipped Elohim Yahuwah and have always worshipped pagan Elohims? Can the Roman Empire be trusted? The Roman Empire that gave the world the Roman Catholic Church? The Roman Catholic Church that gave the Roman Christians the cross? The Roman Christians that have given the world the cross? I would only trust Yahusha on whether it's a tree or a cross. You can buy this figurine in Yahusha, which depicts the truth. The cross is a symbol of paganism. The cross and the doctrines around the cross are idolatry. Do not carry the cross. Once upon a time I was lost in the doctrines of demons of the Roman roots movement and used to carry a cross. Now when I see people who claim to worship the Creator wearing a cross, it reminds me of Elohim's words, that he sees these people as wolves. Elohim says to his people in Numbers 15 verse 39 to 40, to remember all the mitzvahs of Yahuwah and do them, and that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you use to go a-warring, that you remember and do all of his mitzvahs and be special, unique, set apart to Elohim. In Deuteronomy 8 verse 18, Yahuwah says, but thou shalt remember Yahuwah, thy Elohim, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. You have forgotten Elohim, his Torah and his covenant. You have turned the cross, Jesus, and his love covenant into your idols. Wearing the cross means that you're sleeping with the enemy of Elohim, and you don't qualify as his bride. So yes, your pastor has turned you into a whore. It's now time for you to get him to leave the doctrines of demons, of the Roman Christian roots movement, and teach you the Torah, or you need to leave the church. I trust and pray that you don't want to remain a whore. Get rid of the cross and your pagan beliefs. In the first and second mitzvahs, Elohim makes it clear that he is the only mighty one, and you may not have any other foreign mighty ones or idols. Once I got rid of the cross, my relationship with Elohim grew, and yours can too. Delight yourself on the journey of walking the path of the Torah and leave the cross behind. Shalom.